And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
Bill Maher just lit up Zohran Mamdani in a way only he can be: sharp, fearless, and impossible to ignore. The late-night firebrand aimed at Mamdani's ultra-progressive politics, calling his rise a conservative campaign ad that wrote itself. What followed wasn't just commentary, it was a full-scale comedic takedown. Every jab landed, every punchline carried teeth. It's political satire turned prizefight, and Maher didn't pull a single punch. Grab your popcorn, because this showdown is pure primetime chaos.
Who's the most popular politician on the left?
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie is Bernie is, I mean, he's not a capitalist,
No, he's not, and he's also not president.
He's not. But
never would be.
But there's no money.
No, but he will. Trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
Maher's point hits home. Republicans don't need to invent a caricature of Zohran Mamdani when he already performs the part. With the New York socialists' popularity surging, many warn that a Mamdani mayoral win could be the GOP's biggest gift in years, proof that Democrats are drifting from kitchen table reality into ideological fantasy. Mamdani calls himself a democratic socialist, but that reassurance doesn't land beyond his own circle. Maher sees it as a warning flare, the kind of left-wing idealism that sounds noble until it hands the other side a campaign slogan.
This must be horrible for a guy like you. You spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much. And here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
On paper, Mamdani's promises sparkle with fairness, equality, and progress. But scratch the surface, and that shine fades fast. History's full of idealistic blueprints that began with applause and ended in ashes. It's not that the dreamers mean harm, it's that their dream forgets the flaws that make us human. What starts as hope can quietly harden into control, inefficiency, and stagnation. It's the same utopian loop we've seen before, only this time, repackaged for a new generation.
I think every 20 years or so.
Wait.
We need every 20 years or so, we need a conspicuous, confined experiment with socialism so we can crack it up again. Socialist slogan used to be, workers of the world unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. The new socialist slogan is, trust us, this time it won't be a mess.
The story of socialism has been told enough times to fill a library, and the ending rarely changes. Good intentions give way to bureaucracy. Motivation fades. People stop pushing because effort no longer matters. Competition, the very thing that sparks innovation, gets replaced with sameness and eventually decays. Mamdani's state-heavy plans may sound compassionate, but the road they pave tends to lead to equal misery, not equal opportunity. History's not shy about reminding us. When government tries to control everything, everything slows to a crawl.
When the post-war Labour government in Britain was about to get started, one of their leading lights was a socialist named Nurian Bevan. He said, what could go wrong? He said, we have a nation bedded on coal, surrounded by fish. It would take an organizational genius to have a shortage of either. In 3 years, they had a shortage of both.
If New York needs a warning, Britain already wrote the manual. In the early 1900s, the UK embraced the socialist dream of shared wealth, collective ownership, and fairness for all. By the 1970s, that dream had curdled into economic paralysis. State control strangled enterprise. Factories closed, inflation spiked, and the phrase "the sick man of Europe" became reality. Only when Thatcher unleashed market reform did Britain start to breathe again. Equality sounded noble until it dragged everyone down together.
Beyond saying that we're going to make a sanctuary city for LGBTQIA plus New Yorkers, beyond saying that we're going to establish an office of LGBTQIA plus affairs, is also that we're going to provide $65 million in funding for gender-affirming care, the same amount of funding that the federal government threatened to pull out from local providers for that kind of work.
Maher sees Mamdani as more than a quirky progressive. He's a warning sign. Every time Democrats chase purity over pragmatism, they lose the middle ground that wins elections. Many moderates fled to Trump not because they loved him, but because they feared the left had gone too far. Mamdani seems ready to reignite those same battles, pushing government-funded programs tied to divisive cultural fights. To centrists, that's not bold, it's reckless. It's politics that forgets persuasion and doubles down on provocation.
He has attacked you personally and publicly like this.
He's not a socialist. He's a communist, okay? This is not a socialist, man. This is a communist. I don't like to see a communist become mayor, I will tell you that. I call him my little communist. He's my little communist mayor. We should never be in a position where we're talking about a communist. We're going to end up with a communist mayor. It's not even believable, my beautiful New York. I think if a communist takes over New York City, I think that's a gift to the Republican Party.
The truth. Trump doesn't have to paint Mamdani as extreme. He's doing that himself. Talk of state-run grocery stores, universal free transit, and government control over daily life doesn't sound innovative. It sounds recycled. The branding may say democratic socialism, but the rhythm feels like old-school statism in a new jacket. Whatever the motive, the optics write the GOP's talking points for them. A Democratic Party teetering towards socialism, just as the campaign season heats up.
This vision of democratic socialism, it's one that often comes back to what Martin Luther King said decades ago. A vision of, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism, there must be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country. Here in New York City, wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, 1 in 4 are in poverty. 500,000 kids go to sleep hungry every night. It's untenable to live with this kind of a divide. We have to actually have a politics that puts working people first.
Every generation rediscovers socialism like it's a shiny new toy until reality breaks it again. Mamdani's version is no different. Lofty slogans, heart-tugging ideals, and the promise of fairness through control. It's the same story told by countless politicians before him. And every time, ambition turns to overreach, and overreach to regret. America's success came from freedom to let people chase, build, fail, and try again. That's the pulse Maher is defending. The messy, imperfect, but irreplaceable freedom that makes prosperity possible.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Well, it wasn't so much his aunt as his dad's cousin, but, semantics. Douglas, is he ready to lead?
No, in absolutely no way is he ready to lead. And that was just another reminder of it. This is such a self-involved little narcissist with so little going for him.
Mamdani's rise fits the modern democratic script perfectly. Identity, empathy, symbolism, and emotional storytelling. He's a marketer's dream, moral, passionate, media-friendly. But that's also the trap. Once you strip away the narrative polish, what remains? Empty promises wrapped in poetic phrasing. It's a theater that flatters the heart but ignores the head. For every idealist enchanted by the message, a realist is wondering where the plan is. Maher, ever the cynic, isn't fooled by a spotlight and a slogan.
But he even decides to turn the memory of 9/11 and the 3,000 Americans that day into a story about his aunt and the subway. It's interesting, like so many things that this smarmy candidate does, he makes it about himself and it all turns out to be untrue anyway. It seems to the extent that he had any such aunt in question, she wasn't in New York at the time, and in any case, didn't wear the headscarf.
In deep blue New York, Mamdani's victory may be inevitable, but the real story starts after the confetti falls. Governing a city built on grit and chaos isn't the same as delivering a speech about equality. The question isn't whether he wins, it's what happens when the poetry meets policy. Maher's warning isn't paranoia, It's historical pattern recognition. If Mamdani's vision spreads, it won't just reshape City Hall, it could redefine the Democratic Party. And that's why Maher's laughter carries an edge. It's not mockery, it's a wake-up call. If this breakdown hits home, make sure to tap like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives. Until next time, stay sharp.